Hey YouTube, this is Alan from rainbowbeads.net, and I'm about to use my Nortel bead core liner. Now this is the unit here, and you also need some nice dial calipers, and I have a really great pair here. And also I like the handheld pipe cutter, or tube cutter. That's really great. And then this is a little deburr that I use. You also need some kind of tubing. It comes in silver, aluminum, brass, copper, and these are the same size that I use to make my beads that fit on the Pandora bracelets. Let me show you some of the ones I've done already. So here's some of the beads that I already did the liner on. Let me get in the light here. And it actually does a really great job. Took a few times before I got it. I've learned not to make the liner on my favorite bead first. This one I made special for my friend Susan, who lives in or on Maui. I made a couple for her. I'm going to send off to her, and then I'll show her this link to the video. So basically what happens is I measure a bead with the dial calipers. Then what I do is I add on 3 millimeters, and then I score the tubing with my calipers. The calipers are really pointy on the end, and I'm going to try to figure out how I can show you how to do this. I have to get my tripod out, but it's pretty interesting, and this goes really fast. This was not a cheap machine. It was like 300 bucks or around there, but I have to say it really works well. When I first started, I broke a few beads, like I said, but that's basically, you just have to get used to it. And it goes up and down here with this nifty handle. And then we have different parts here, and I've sort of found my favorite attachments here. You start off with 2 pointy guys, and then you go to a padded rubber one on the bottom, and then a huge just ball which flattens out the top of the bead. Alright, so let me set this up and I'll show you how to do it. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is decide which bead I want to put a liner in. We'll go with one of my black and white zebra type. What I'm going to do is measure it with the dial calipers and zero that out. And then I'm going to measure the whole bead, because you want to make sure you get the thickest part. So this comes to 6.88 millimeters. I'm going to go to 9.88 millimeters. And give or take a millimeter. I mean, it's fine if you're a little less, 1 or 2 less. Okay, here we go, perfect. And I'm going to use this little piece of tubing here, and what I'm going to do is put my dial caliper right on the top, and then I'm going to score the metal with this sharp edge of the caliper. Probably not the best way to use your tools, but it works for me. Then you open up the tube cutter, put it in, put the tube in, and then you're going to put this little cutting wheel right on the line that you just scored. And you want to clamp it down, but not real tight. And then you twist it until it gets really loose, and then you slowly tighten some more. So you just keep twisting and tightening, and what that does is it scores right through the metal, makes a nice clean edge. And it happens really fast. I'm using an aluminum piece on this, aluminum tubing on this one. Okay, here we go. Now what I do is I put the tubing inside of the bead, and I have the fat pointed insert and the thinner pointed insert. And it's all about touch. You know, it takes a little while to feel it. You want to make sure the bead is in the center of this when you start to bring down the handle. And I've sort of found that if you give it a little squeeze, you feel it give. I do a quarter turn, do it again, then I flip it over. You want to do the same thing on both sides every time. So you give it a little squeeze, quarter turn, squeeze, quarter turn, flip, squeeze, quarter turn, squeeze, quarter turn. I don't know why this works so well. Squeeze, quarter turn, squeeze, quarter turn. I found if you don't do the little turns that some of the metal sometimes will fray on the ends or split. So that's another reason why you really want to do this slow. You don't want to do it fast. It's all about slowly moving the metal. And once this is getting a little tight on the bead, like if you feel that the insert does not move very much, which I'm almost there, then I'm going to switch the units here, these little inserts, and the large ball goes on the top and the rubber goes on the bottom. The rubber one kind of gives a little bit, and then I just do it a little squeeze, turn. I like to turn it a few times, make it even, and then same thing on the other side. Then I like to make sure that it's pretty much flush on both sides. This side I see it's up just a little bit, so I'm going to put this back on here. And you can kind of focus on what side you want to do it. You can flatten that metal out. Okay, let me check that. Alright, let me see if we can see this in the camera. I now have a nice core on my bead. Hope you enjoyed that. Any questions, comment, subscribe. Have a fantastic day. Aloha.